Hello friends, in this semester, that is semester number 5, we are going to learn a new subject, that is kinematics of manufacturing machines. The prerequisite for this subject is theory of machines that we have already learned in the last semester. In the last semester, we have learned the theoretical aspects, some practical aspects of mechanisms. We have learned the mechanisms, we have learned the application of mechanism, inversions of mechanisms, some analysis we have done. But in this new subject, that is in kinematics of manufacturing machines, basically we are going to deal with the kinematics of the mechanisms and machines. In kinematics, we are going to learn the analysis and synthesis part of the mechanisms. Okay, so we'll start with the unit number 1. Unit number 1 is computer aided analysis and synthesis of the mechanisms. So in this unit, we are going to learn. So as per the university syllabus, we have unit number 1 syllabus like this: synthesis analysis of mechanisms, computer aided analysis and coupler curves for 4-bar mechanism, slider crank mechanism, dimensional synthesis of mechanisms, 3-position synthesis of slider crank mechanism. Then some methods we have, that is overlay method, block synthesis, least square techniques to go for the synthesis of the mechanisms. Okay, so in this particular lecture and this unit, we are going to learn. Um, so this is what the content we have in this particular unit. So introduction in the same way we have seen in the syllabus. So we'll start with the basic things, and then some part we are going to cover in this lecture, and the latter part will be covered in the maybe in the next coming lectures. Okay, so we'll start with the computer aided analysis and synthesis. What is the necessity of this? Why we are going to learn? What is the objective? Okay, so as we have seen in the theory of machines in unit number 2, that is velocity and acceleration analysis of the mechanisms. In that, for a particular position of the mechanism, we have found the velocity and acceleration. Okay, but if suppose if you change the position of the mechanism, then we have to again carry out the same analysis again to find out velocity and acceleration and displacement too. Again, if you change to another position, then again we have to carry out the entire process to find out displacement, velocity, and acceleration. But how many times you can do that? Because in actual practical application, we have to carry out the procedure for many times. Like for say 360 positions of the mechanism, we have to find out 360 velocities, acceleration, and displacement. Then how to find out that? Because that becomes very tedious, very lengthy. So therefore, then we can what we can do here, then we can convert that analysis in the using computers. So that means that will become your computer aided analysis. Okay, and next part of course it will be synthesis. So we'll see what is the analysis and what is the synthesis. Okay, but now we have learned and we have discussed what is the necessity of computer aided here to save the time, to increase the accuracy, okay, for the same analysis purpose. But now we have added one more part here in this unit number 1, that is synthesis part. Okay, now what is analysis? Basically the analysis of any mechanism deals with the displacement analysis, velocity analysis, and acceleration analysis. So what is that means? Let us consider this is your 4-bar chain mechanism. This is your 4-bar chain mechanism. So you know here what happens. Let us consider the first link. Let us say this is your first link, which is fixed one. This is fixed one. Now when you rotate or when you give displacement to this particular first link, let us say this is your link number 1. This is link number 1. This is say link number 2. This is 3, and the last one is 4th. Let us say 4th is your fixed link, and say uh, link number 1 is your input link, that is the crank. If you rotate the crank 1, what will happen to other links? Other links will start moving. Okay, so for a particular placement, let us say this is first position, say this is your theta angle. Let us say the angle of the crank is theta, and corresponding angle of this output links, you know, this is output link, say the angle is phi. The angle is phi. Say this angle is your phi angle. So it means that your input angle is theta and output angle is phi. Okay, so this is nothing but a displacement. See, for input displacement theta, output displacement is phi for this particular instance. Now if you change the position, first position from say this theta to theta 1, say next position is this, say this is your input link, and the angle is now theta 1, okay, rather than your theta. Say another position of this coupler is this, and say this is a phi 1. So corresponding output angle is say phi 1. So phi has been changed to phi 1, theta has been changed to theta 1. So for this particular position, we can do the displacement analysis. We can find out this phi. Phi is called as displacement. Then velocity, we can find out velocity of any point in the mechanism for this particular instance. Then acceleration, once you get the velocity, we can get the acceleration. Again, if you change the position from theta 1 to theta 2, say this is another position, say this angle is theta 2. So we'll have for theta 2 another output angle phi 2. Say this is a phi 2. So this angle is phi 2. Okay, this angle is phi 2. So in this way, to find out this phi 1, phi 2, phi 3 on the basis of theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, and then v1, v2, v3, then acceleration, say a1, a2, a3 on the basis of 3, we have to carry out the analysis again and again. Okay, if you are doing it manually. So then what we can do here, so can you find out then a particular generalized equation so that if you put the input angle theta or input velocity v or input acceleration a to find out all other velocities, displacement and acceleration for all other uh, inputs given. So if you are able to find out that generalized equation, it means that that is nothing but your analysis, right? That is nothing but your analysis. So using a single equation, we can find out the output for any input value, unlike the graphical methods that we have used in the theory of machines. That is nothing but the analysis. Okay, finding out the equation to find out the output in terms of displacement, velocity and acceleration. Okay, for any given input position, that is nothing but the analysis. So this is the simple meaning of analysis. So what we have to remember here in the analysis, we basically carry out displacement analysis, that is to find out phi, then velocity analysis, so that is find out v, that is of your output link, and the acceleration of the output link. Okay, now what is synthesis? Synthesis is the reverse way of analysis. See what happens here. So why we need the analysis? When you are using a mechanism for a particular application, then we must know what is the displacement, velocity and acceleration to carry out that application in the engineering, right? So that's why we need that. What displacement we need, velocity we need, acceleration we need. Okay, so it means that in that case we have to analyze the mechanism for its displacement, velocity and acceleration. Okay, that is nothing but your analysis. But in synthesis, what happens, if you know the analysis, like if your input is your displacement, velocity and acceleration, it means that for a particular application we want this to be displacement, this to be velocity and this to be acceleration. So can you design the mechanism? So this reverse way is nothing but your synthesis. So in analysis, we are given the mechanism and we have to find out displacement, velocity and acceleration in analysis. And in synthesis, the velocity, displacement, acceleration will be given, and on the basis of that we have to design the mechanism. This reverse way is called as the synthesis. I hope you are understanding this difference between analysis and synthesis. So there is very simple difference. Analysis, when the mechanism is given, we are going to carry out displacement, velocity and acceleration analysis. And in synthesis, this analysis is given, and on the basis of analysis we are going to design the mechanism. Okay, so this is the way. So in the projection method, what we are going to do here, we are going to draw the 4-bar chain mechanism on XY plane. So let us consider this is as your XY plane, and this A, B, C, D is the 4-bar chain mechanism. Let us consider theta is input angle and phi is your output angle. Okay, and you know in 4-bar chain mechanism, the first link, which is the shortest link, is referred to be as your crank, which is your input link. Then the last link, let us say this third link, is referred to be as your output link or the lever, and the intermediate link, that is BC, let us consider it as your coupler link. Okay, so theta is input angle, phi is output angle. Let us consider this beta angle is the angle of this BC, link BC with the horizontal. Okay, so let us project all these points on the X and Y axis. Let us project this B point on the X axis, C point on the X axis, then your all the points again on the Y axis, this way. That is given in this below figure given. Okay, so from the second figure, we can see here from this second figure, we can write the equation for x-axis and for y-axis, or for horizontal displacement and for vertical displacement of the points. Okay, so let us consider the horizontal or horizontal vectors. If you see, then see this total vector summation, that is from this point A again coming to this point A, must be equal to 0. Okay, so therefore this first part, that is a cos theta plus this b cos beta, then minus, because it is going in the opposite direction, so therefore this c cos phi, and minus this entire d is equal to 0. Okay, these small a, small b, small c, and small d are the lengths of the links in the 4-bar chain mechanism. So we'll get this equation when you consider the horizontal projections, and when you consider the vertical projections, then you will get the equation in terms of the sine components, that is a sine theta plus b sine beta minus c sine phi equal to 0. In the same way we have got for the horizontal projection. In the horizontal projection, it was a cos theta plus b cos beta minus c cos phi minus d equal to 0, like that. Okay, now in these two equations, we know there is one parameter, that is beta parameter, which is unknown parameter, or which is very difficult to know. And theta and phi can be easily, see, phi we want to find out, phi is the displacement that we have to find out. Theta is known parameter because theta is input parameter, that we know. A, B, C, D are the link lengths, so that also know. But beta is the difficult parameter, which is really difficult to find out. So therefore what we'll do, we'll use these two equations and remove this particular part beta. So for removing this part, what we'll do, we'll square the left part of both the equations, and then we'll add these two equations. Then what we'll get here, after squaring and adding these two equations to previous equations, you will get this equation. This equation now it will be in terms of only theta and phi. We can easily observe here. This equation will be in terms of only theta and phi. Why? Because actually we have removed this particular part beta from the equations by squaring and adding. So once you get this equation, let us consider some parts, because some constants are there. Let us consider d by a as your k1, because you know d is a link length, b is a is also link length. So d by a is a constant. Let us consider this constant as your k1. D by c is your k2, and this remaining part, this particular part, a square minus b square plus c square plus d square upon 2ac as your k3. So when you consider k1, k2, k3, then this equation will be converted to cos theta minus phi. So this will become your cos theta minus phi, which is equal to this k1 cos theta, k1 cos phi. So this k1 cos phi minus k2 cos theta, see this minus k2 cos theta, and plus k3, this part plus k3, you will get this equation. Okay, and this equation is called as the basic equation of the analysis. Okay, and this is given by Freudenstein. So therefore this equation is also called as Freudenstein's equation. Freudenstein's equation, Freudenstein, Stein. So this scientist has derived this equation. So therefore this equation is also called as Freudenstein's equation. Okay. So this is very basic equation. Using this Freudenstein's equation, we can carry out the displacement analysis, we can carry out the velocity analysis, and we can carry out the acceleration analysis too. Okay. So therefore, the next part we'll see the displacement analysis, how to find out displacement using this particular equation. Okay. So to find out the displacement, our aim is to find out this phi, because phi is your output displacement and theta is your input displacement. Okay, so to find out this output phi, let us consider this trigonometric ratio. Sine phi, this is this is standard equation. Sine phi equal to 2 tan phi by 2 upon 1 plus tan square phi by 2, and cos phi equal to 1 minus tan square upon 1 plus tan square. Okay, these are the standard equations in the trigonometry available. Okay, so put these two equation, or put these two values of sine phi and cos phi in the Freudenstein's equation. Okay, what we'll get here then, putting these values over there in the equation, you will get this equation. Again rearranging, see, this is very simple analysis. Okay, I'm not going to go into very depth of these mathematical steps. Okay, this is very simple. Just by rearranging these terms, at the end we'll get this particular equation, that is in bracket is 1 minus k2 cos theta plus k3 minus k1 in one bracket, which will be common to this tan square phi by 2, then plus minus 2 sin theta is common to tan phi by 2, plus k1 plus k3 minus 1 plus k by 2 cos theta. This particular part you will get. So let us to make this equation simpler, let us consider this equation as a tan square phi by 2. See this particular part as a tan square phi by 2, plus this part is as b tan phi by 2, and this part is as c part. Okay, so therefore we'll get this equation a tan square phi by 2 plus b tan phi by 2 plus c is equal to 0. Okay, where this a part is nothing but this particular part, 1 minus k2 cos theta plus k3 minus k1, sorry, plus k1. B is equal to minus 2 sin theta, and c equal to k1 plus k3 minus 1 plus k2 cos theta. Okay, so therefore you can see, you can observe this equation. This equation is quadratic equation in tan phi by 2. Quadratic equation, the form of quadratic equation is a x square plus bx plus c plus bx plus c equal to 0. Okay, this standard equation, x square plus bx plus c. Okay, so this equation is similar to that. See, a means c is a, x means your tan phi by 2. So x square tan square phi by 2 plus bx plus c equal to 0. So therefore this equation is quadratic in tan phi by 2. So therefore when an equation is quadratic in nature, it will have two roots, that is two values of the output parameter, that is your tan phi by 2. So therefore um, when you write the roots of this equation, then you will get two values of tan phi by 2, that is tan phi by 2 equal to minus b. Now see, plus minus, that is two roots, minus plus plus minus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Okay, so you therefore then you will get the value of phi, which is equal to, then this tan will go on that side, that will become your tan inverse. This 2 will go that side, that is phi equal to 2 tan inverse of, then this bracket minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac upon twice. Okay, so it means that after doing this particular analysis, we are going to get this phi. Now what is phi? Phi is nothing but your output angle. Okay, output angle means what? The displacement, output displacement. So therefore you can see this phi is in terms of a, b, c, capital A, capital B, and capital C. And you can see here this capital A, capital B, and capital C are in terms of theta and k. So theta is your input angle. And what is k, or what is k1, k2, k3? K1, k2, k3 are the constants that depends upon the link lengths a, b, c, d, that we have seen in the second slide. Okay, so k1 equal to d by a, k3 equal to d by c, right? Then k1 equal to d by a, k2 equal to d by c minus d by c, and k3 equal to a square plus b square minus c square upon 2a into c. Okay, that we have seen. Okay, so k1, k2, k3 are depend upon the your link lengths. It means that therefore at the end we can say that this theta is entirely depend upon theta only. This phi is entirely depend upon theta. Okay, so it means that when you change the value of theta, accordingly this phi will change. So it means that now we have got the generalized equation for phi. Now you put any value of theta, you will get the corresponding value of phi. This is called as analysis. We don't need to analyze for every position for velocity, displacement, and analysis. So this is for displacement. In the same way, we're going to find out for velocity, and then for analysis, the acceleration analysis. Okay, but now we have got this generalized equation. Using this equation, we can find out velocity, or sorry, displacement for any position. For any position means what? For any angle theta. Okay, so this is called as your displacement analysis. Okay, so for this lecture, this is okay. In the next lecture, we are going to see the velocity analysis, and then followed by your acceleration analysis using Freudenstein's equation. So always remember, the most important part of this lecture is to learn the Freudenstein's equation, because that is very basic equation. Once you know the Freudenstein's equation, we can carry out the displacement, velocity, and acceleration analysis for any kind of mechanism in engineering application. Okay, so thank you, have a nice day.